Hello, hi, welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at my challenges and victories with starting my seeds for spring 23. Hello, this is Rafa. Welcome to another page in my homesteading diary. I'm going to start out by talking about the bad and then we'll end on a high note. Here is a little greenhouse that we put together that's probably 2 by 4. Let's go inside and take a look at the ugly. So I left this in here closed up probably one day too many, and as you can see, algae has started trying to take over. I am going to, because I'm a little concerned about pathogens spreading, and the vegetables that have germinated and sprouted, I'm concerned that they might die off. So I'm going to be transplanting all of these seedlings because I just don't, as ugly as it looks, I just don't think this is an ideal environment. The other issue I have going on is down here. We'll come back and visit these things, but all that white fuzz, the beginning of some mold, I'm going to come in with a diluted hydrogen peroxide spray and kill that off, and then I'll have to do something with that stuff. Well, now let's step outside of the greenhouse and come back a little later, but let's go over to another grow area and I'll showcase what's going on over there. Okay, so talking about some successes. I have red Russian kale, dwarf Siberian kale, red salad bowl, and Detroit red beets that were all sown from seed. The Detroit beets are coming up slowly but surely, but everything else is looking quite nice. And as you can see, those were all sown way back in December. Conditions are finally getting right for them to thrive. Here I have a container of different types of spinach, and they are all doing nicely as well. I'm excited about the spinach. And then in this container, I have some ruby red Swiss chard, and the rainbow Swiss chard never did come up, I don't think. This little one right here, I don't think that's the rainbow Swiss chard. It may be, I'll just keep an eye on it. For all I know, it might be weed that blew into the bucket. But I have some turnip tops, and once I get my raised bed established, I'll be transplanting those into a bigger space. But those all are from seed, and I'm excited at the progress of those. Here are the carrots that I planted a while back on one of the videos. They're springing up, thriving, and this is the grow bag of radishes, and they're doing really nice. I don't know what's going on beneath the soil, but above the soil, it looks vibrant. Okay, let's go back to the greenhouse so we can talk a little bit more about what's going on. Everything in here, of course, was planted from seed. Some were planted in those little pellets. Some were planted in seed starting soil, and some I have in water. And let's take a look. This broccolini over here, I was a little nervous because if you could see, some of the leaves are brown, the first set of leaves. When I first put them in this greenhouse, I let it get way too warm in here because the temperatures had dipped down to about 35, and I put a heat source in here because I was afraid, but then that ended up almost burning them down. Not fire-wise, but it just got too hot. I didn't think they were going to make it. Plus, they were looking so leggy. But as you can see, they all seem to be hanging on. And I'm actually going to plant more broccolini because you guys know I love my broccolini. I planted gold acre cabbage, and I only have one of those that's coming up. So I will definitely be planting more of the golden acre cabbage because my husband loves them. I'm not that big of a cabbage fan, but I'll plant some more. Now this red giant mustard, I think I only have that one. Oh, there's one right here that's coming. Yeah, there's one. I got 3 coming up. So that's not going to be enough for me. I like red giant mustard. So I'll plant a couple more of those. I have a walking stick kale. And that looks like it's doing nicely. I don't think I need more than 3. Here I have some cylinder beets. And I wasn't sure that they were going to make it because they were looking so extremely leggy. You see they're all floppy right now, but they're steadily putting on more and more leaves, so I guess that's okay. Also, the Siberian kale, I only had one that germinated and it's doing fine. I am not going to plant more of the Siberian kale because you saw in my buckets over there, I already have some going. Over here, I have the evergreen bunching onions are sprouting. The Lisbon bunching onions, they never did anything. They haven't come up. I have some eucalyptus, some dwarf eucalyptus, and I'm excited that they're coming up. Who doesn't love the smell of that? I have some chicory. I'm excited about that. I love adding chicory to my coffee. It's a great prebiotic. And so it's great that I'll be able to plant and roast the roots myself. Here I have some tender green beans. I wasn't gonna plant the green beans because we don't eat them that much, but I do like the idea of kind of munching on them when they're raw, so I figured I'd get a couple of those in. Here I have some green tree collards. There's 4 of those coming up, and that's more than enough for me for that. Now I could eat collards around the clock, but I think 4 of those in combination with the other stuff that I have growing, the other collards that I have planted, should carry us pretty far. Right here I have little sage plants. They haven't put on true leaves yet. I see one trying to put on some true leaves though. Oh yeah, a couple of them are trying to put on some true leaves. Wonderful. I'll be talking more about sage at a later date. Here I have some dwarf cherry rose nasturtiums. I have about 6 of those that are coming up lovely. I have some tall nasturtiums that never did germinate yet, but I'm not giving up on them just yet. But those are the dwarf nasturtiums. And my sweet banana peppers have not sprouted. I have 2 lemon cucumbers. 2 lemon cucumbers. And, oops. Where's the other one? Here's the other one flopped over there. And so I'll be up potting those within the next day or two. I've never had lemon cucumbers, interesting. And here's some red acre cabbage. That's probably going to be enough of the red acre cabbage, but I definitely want to plant some other cabbages. Down here I have some Yukon Gold potatoes, and they are ready for me to put in the grow bags that I'll be planting them in. And so I'll be hilling them up, you know, adding soil to them as they grow in the grow bags, and I will take you along for that journey. Down here I have sugarcane. They started out rooting nicely. You can see the roots, and then I don't know what's going on. It looks like they are some of them are trying to rot, and that could be because it's been way too warm in here. I had not been venting it like I needed to. So I have 2 more stalks of sugarcane in the house, so I'll chop those up and give it another go. This is the ginger. They are well on their way, so I need to get them in their grow bags so that they can get settled in and take off and just be beautiful and bountiful. Okay, next I have my sweet potatoes, which I really am excited about because I could eat sweet potatoes every single day. They are starting to put on some slips, and they're starting to root. I'm excited about that. Well, there's a root right there, some roots at the bottom. They are starting to root. So those are the traditional orange sweet potatoes that we're used to, and these are the purple sweet potatoes that's white on the inside. They're really sweet, but they're very starchy and a little more firm. Now here's another fail. This row right here of chicory, they all sprouted and then they damped off and died. So that's fine. I planted some calendula. None of them have germinated, and I don't know. I gotta look and see how long it takes because that's 2 rows from 2 different packets, and none of them have germinated yet. So I'm thinking maybe they just take a little bit longer. I had planted 3 loofah seeds. Only 1 germinated, so I'm gonna have to plant a couple more because I was hoping to have at least 2 loofah seeds. Still waiting on the snapdragons. The early Jersey Wakefield cabbage did not germinate. My Paris Island romaine has not germinated. I have some sugar beets. 2 of those germinated. Yeah, only 2 of those germinated. And you see they take off to a slow start. I'm gonna plant more of those because I'm curious about the way they're gonna taste, and I have a feeling I'm gonna like them. I have some Cosby Egyptian beets, and I'm going to be planting more of those as well. Even though I have a nice little row of them. Let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them have come up, but I think I want more than that. Here are 4 purple tree collards. So I have the green tree collards, and then I have the purple tree collards, and that's going to be nice. And then I'll plant some maybe Georgia collards or something like that as well. My butter crunch lettuce has not come up yet, but I love it. Oh, there's one trying to come up right when I was going to give up on them. So I'll give it a couple more days. Maybe the rest will start popping up too. Actually, all of these, There's so much algae in here. Everything that has not sprouted yet, I'm thinking I might just go on and just start over with whatever has not sprouted. I have to get some of these things up potted though, because as you could see, I have roots popping through. I don't want them to get root bound. Now, here is what I'm most excited about. What will be my medicinal garden. Now let's take a little walk through. I'm going to start over here with the tarragon. That's not really known so much for its medicinal properties. I just ended up putting it over here. It's more of an herb. It's actually my favorite herb. But there's tarragon, and they're all doing great. Now you'll notice that I sowed them kind of densely in these cells, and I will definitely be thinning them out. But let's go on back. Next to the tarragon, I have the toothache plant. And each one of these I will feature at a later date and let you know the benefits and the health benefits of them. I have my favorite medicinal herb or medicinal edible is, well, I don't want to say edible. My medicinal wild edible, I guess I will say that, is mullein. That is some wonderful stuff. And next to that would be Life Everlasting. Now these Life Everlasting, I don't even know if you can get a concept of how tiny they are, but the seeds were so tiny, they came in like one of those 1-inch Ziploc bags, and I thought the bag was empty because you couldn't even see the seeds. I had to hold it up to the light. What I ended up doing was tearing a little piece of paper towel, making it damp, and rubbing it along the inside of the bag, and then just putting it right on the soil and lightly covering it over. And sure enough, they have started sprouting. So that's Life Everlasting, and I'm so excited to have that. I have some Roman chamomile, whichever way you pronounce it. I tend to say chamomile. That's coming up. I have an assortment of hyssop, blue hyssop, a nice anise hyssop, plantain. That grows wild in your yard, and I'm growing it mainly because I wanted to control what it came in contact with. You know, I don't know if there's runoff in my yard from pesticides that neighbors are using or whatever. And also I wanted to be able to positively identify it myself when I see it. I planted some safflower, and the seeds were very old. They were actually a gift from purchasing seeds from a supplier, and so they were only maybe 6 seeds, and none of them have germinated. So I don't know, maybe I'll let it hang around a little bit longer though. Maybe they just take a long time. I have some holy Tulsi basil, black, was this called black opal? Dark opal purple basil, sweet basil, garlic chives. As you can see, I only have 2. I'm going to be planting a lot more of that because I'm definitely going to need more than 2. I planted about 4 seeds in each cell, and that's all I have. So I'm not too crazy about that germination rate, but like I said, I'll be planting more. And then this right here is lemon basil. My Genovese basil, those are the real large ones. They never sprouted, but I'm going to give them some time. I'm not going to give up on them yet. Self-heal. Good stuff. That's coming up. And this is purslane. This also grows in everyone's yard. I want it to be able to positively ID it when I see it, because there's a look-alike that's slightly toxic. So I wanted to grow it so that when I see it, when I'm foraging, I'll know what it is. But by growing everything myself, I really won't have a need to forage, will I? Astragalus. If you can't put your hand on graviola, which is also known as soursop, the tree, the next best thing for the benefits would be found in astragalus. Then I have lemon balm. Everyone's familiar with that. I have wild quinine. Is that just one coming up? Only one wild quinine coming up. I'll probably plant a couple more of those. And then I have stinging nettle. Everyone is familiar with stinging nettle. It makes you itch so much if you brush up against it. I'm just planting it so that I could positively ID it. It has several lookalikes as well. Stinging nettle. Now, from what I understand, stinging nettles tend to attract aphids, so I'll have to be careful with how I treat that and what I plant it next to. But the health benefits are so vast that it's worth the hassle. Okay, so that's all I have sown right now, and I'm trying to keep them alive as best as I can. I have a few more seeds that I plan to get going within the next few days, hopefully before the weekend. Those include corn, okra, some more types of cabbage, onion. There's a particular onion that I have, the giant Egyptian walking onion, and I'm excited about planting that because it seems kind of neat. Just the little things. But what happens with the walking onion is that as it flowers, it falls over, touches the ground, deposits seeds wherever it touches, and then new onions spring up, and they do the same thing, fall over, drop seeds, and new ones spring up. So basically it kind of travels over the area that you are planting that you have them planted in. It's kind of windy out here. Also, I plan to experiment with growing peanuts, and of course my beloved chayote. I planted chayote back in December, and they were off to a great, super fantabulous start. But when we had that freeze that came through, I had taken them outside so that they could get some sunlight, and I did not cover them in time, and as a result they all died off. But I have a few more that are well on their way to as starts, and some of them even have the little tendrils on them, so I'm excited about that. I don't think it's too late for that to be kicked off in grand fashion for the spring. I'm also planning to plant something called Satellina virens. I'm looking at a paper, by the way. Satellina virens. It's a bushy type plant that's supposed to have a strong olive taste to it. So that's intriguing to me. Can't wait to see what that's about. And then there's several melons that I'm going to plant. All sweet watermelon, cicada melon, which is a small personal size melon that's supposed to be very sweet. It's from Japan. The Gaia melon that I tried in a video several videos ago. I saved the seeds for those because I liked it so much. I'm going to see if they're ready to germinate and grow, see if I can grow those. And also Kajari melon. That's another personal sized melon. I've never had it before, but I saw the seeds and I thought I will give it a try. So those are the seeds that I plan to grow for the melons. And then the last thing is, I think I'm pronouncing this right, parasacaba sprouting broccoli. From what I understand, it tastes somewhat like broccoli and asparagus combined. Sounds like my broccolini. I'm curious to see. The head looks like it's bigger than the broccolini, and also the main difference is that it's an heirloom, so I can collect and save the seeds, whereas we know from the video where I explained about hybrids, I cannot save the seeds for the broccolini because it is an F1 hybrid, and I would not end up with the same broccolini. It sounds like I have a lot going on, a lot planting, a lot of plans. I don't foresee myself planting anything differently besides what I've mentioned. I thought about cauliflower. We really don't eat that much of it. I do like to use it as a substitute for the pasta when I make mac and cheese sometimes. If you haven't tried that, you'll be amazed. It tastes just like mac and cheese, but without the carbs. And I do like when it's riced with a little butter and, Italian seasonings. But I don't think I like cauliflower enough to actually grow. And I will not be planting eggplants. We definitely don't eat enough of that. I do like eggplant parmesan, but we're not going to be growing the eggplants. I'm not growing beans or peas, aside from the 2 tender peas that I have planted there. I'm not growing anymore. We have more than enough canned beans and dried beans. So no use planting those just for the thrill of it. And that's about it. I'm excited for spring. The next thing we're working on is our raised beds and reconfiguring this backyard space. Come grow with me. This channel promotes the goodness in life. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. And above all, prosper and be in good health.